Hello, I'm Dr. Catherine Horton. Today is the 24th of June 2017 and it's 2 a.m. in the morning. You can just about see the injuries all in my face, absolutely everywhere as the makeup is wearing off. It has been a long day, extremely hot in Switzerland. I just want to give a very quick report. Today I've been mutilated again. They are targeting my head. They've been targeting my legs, trying to make my legs swell up. And something that was new today, Swiss intelligence has tried to shoot at me with what might be particle beams or gamma ray beams. So I haven't established what radiation it is, but either way, I've got a Geiger counter here. And the Geiger counter, I had it for, I think over a year now. And I have not heard it set off any alarms because the limit for the alarm is set quite high. What happened is that today it started being set off over and over. So I recorded, when I actually thought about writing it down in my notebook, I recorded 6 alarms on this. And the last couple of times I saw it, it's so that what's normal, you can have a look here, is something like, actually 0.5 is, sorry, this is a 0.2. This is 0.2. So 0.2 microsievert around here. It's between 0.1 and 0.2 microsievert usually. That's the radiation level. That's normal here where I am in Switzerland. But today when I heard the alarm and I dashed to see the radiation level, it was showing things like 47 microsievert. So, if you take, that's like 200 times what it should be. And as I said, it kept being, kept hitting and setting off the alarm over and over. And Dr. Reinhard Munzert already reported that victims of the intelligence agencies are also assaulted with particle beams, with radioactivity, with particle beams. It must be little accelerators that they have. He also reported extreme levels of radiation coming from parked cars in the street. He also reported an incident whereby extreme radiation was fired at his house and school children were going through the beam. So the Nazis who were firing these beams at his house from a parked car couldn't give a damn about children being in the way. They just kept firing. So that's the sort of Nazi psychopaths we're dealing with in the intelligence agencies. So here in Switzerland, the Swiss intelligence is just as brutal and as utterly deranged and demented as everywhere else. So they have a rape culture and a mutilation and maiming culture, like all other intelligence agencies. So for Britain, there's quite a lot in the news. So you can just Google or search for the name of a ex-head of MI5 and MI6 combined with Satanism, pedophilia, and any undesirable terms that you can think of. And you can have a look of what the search will return. It's quite horrific. But it seems that what has happened is the organized crime cartel has actively promoted serial killers and severely deranged people into the intelligence agencies and promoted them up to gradually, set up this culture of this rape culture, mutilation culture in the intelligence agencies, to then use that against democracies and unleash these utterly demented people onto the productive parts of society, and thereby just automatically set off an Intelligenzaktion, action against the people with integrity, the people of intelligence, and utterly mutilate them. So as I'm talking here, I was shot into the face just now. There's also just through the window a flat, which is under the Satanic Goat, and this block of flats where the lights are on at all times of the day. So in the entire flat, so this is now 2 a.m., the lights are still on. They were on at 4 a.m., at 3 a.m., every single time I checked. So that's, I think, the shift service, the training hub for the trainee degenerates. And that's what's happening here in Switzerland. So today I already, for the people who watched the German broadcast, I've already mentioned that, but here it is in English again. Today I was interviewed by a TV channel, a very renowned TV channel. And as it happens, I prepared to sit down for the interview. And as moments after the interview started, it's literally just after a few minutes, the phone started ringing in the background. And this usually happens, it can happen, and it rings twice or thrice, and that's that. But in this case, the phone kept ringing for, I think, almost 2 minutes. And if you want to know how long 2 minutes are, just set a kitchen timer, and then in those 2 minutes, just ring a bell every few seconds. So and at first I thought, oh, that's coincidence. But as the phone kept ringing, I thought, no, that's not coincidence. And then the interview was interrupted, and the person who was interviewing me said, oh, just go and answer the phone or just unplug it or something. And that was really good, because I just went there, unplugged the phone, I had the time, and as soon as I sat down, my doorbell rang. And I answered the door, and it turned out to be my neighbor, who came to complain about an issue we had here in the flat over a week ago, that I had complained to about his wife had complained to me on Sunday about something that had happened on Friday. I apologized, and I had taken measures, and then it was complained about again by the landlady, because I was reported to the landlady on Tuesday. So by Tuesday, I had already apologized to the landlady and had rectified matters and everything. This wasn't a matter that was actually, worth. It was about, the laundrette and stuff being left in the laundrette, past my allocated time. So that's the sort of, severe crimes we're talking about. And then my neighbor came and rang the doorbell and claimed to want to warn me off for, again, issues to do with the laundrette. And that was just absolutely hilarious, because, it was after the interview that I went and looked up who had actually made the phone call, and it was my neighbor. So my neighbor, who just lives one floor below mine, has never, ever in the past called my number, ever. He just comes upstairs and just rings the doorbell. And today he decided to not just call my phone, but he decided to let it ring for almost 2 minutes. And then when I didn't answer, instead of thinking, oh, she isn't at home, it's okay, he actually came upstairs, because he clearly is watching all my moves, and he knew that I was here, nevertheless. And then this combination of, ringing the phone, and then, coming up here, and then ringing the doorbell, and then with utter trivialities, it's just unbelievable. So I always suspected him of being part of the harassment, because, he kept a very close tab on all my movements and that of my husband, and had kept quizzing me about things. For example, one of the comments I received was, why does my husband, when he comes home, why does he go around the house on the outside as opposed to coming upstairs through the cellar? So we have a garage, and you can enter the home from the garage either by walking through the cellar or by walking back out, and then going around the house and using the front door. And the question I received was, why does my husband always do that? I didn't know how my husband comes home. I have no idea. But instead, my neighbor doesn't just know that, when my husband comes home, he also keeps a tab of how my husband enters the home. So, it doesn't get any more Stasi than that. And then this neighbor today had to, do his utmost to mess up an interview that I had with a television channel. It was absolutely hilarious. But anyway, so that's the sort of stuff you get from Neighbours. But more serious offences from Neighbours is that they have these microwave emitters placed down at their place. They get very good money for that, for mutilating you to death. And before her death, or before her murder, I should say, Dr. Ronnie Kilder, the ex-chief medical officer of Finland, she gave an interview, and in the interview, she even shows military documents whereby it's all planned out how people can be assaulted inside their own homes from neighboring homes. So it's all just one big assault system that's set up and has been in the planning for years and years and years. And now the takedown of our democracies is being conducted with the intelligence agencies and the military, and they're just being let loose on the indigenous population. So that's what is happening here. So these are the updates. I'm sorry, I'm given that it's already 2 a.m. I'm so exhausted. I have to go to bed. There's lots more to be done. My colleagues are being tortured brutally. My colleague Melanie, she was assaulted so hard tonight that we had to shift the broadcast of the German version of the Techno Crime Fighters by several hours, just so that she could recover. And just seeing her being shot up, and then she complains about how her head is being cooked and how her body is being shot into. I mean, seeing your colleague when she's, heavily pregnant and being mutilated by Belgian intelligence run by Jacques Reis, it is just disgusting. And the situation is that, the entire world has to get disgusted with the intelligence agencies. They are publicly running concentration camps. And the situation is that now we've reached, again, a state whereby these intelligence agencies are just running amok, and there's no mechanism by which we can stop them. So, that's the sort of severity, of the situation. I'm just reading the comment section today, okay, so that's right. Yes, I'm so far I haven't actually seen any comments that are worth commenting on. Either way, I think I have to go to bed because I can't actually stay awake for much longer. But I just want everybody who's listening to know that we're working very hard on trying to improve the situation and trying to come up with solutions. But the fact of the matter is that we cannot do it on our own. So please, I'm appealing for financial assistance. I'm also appealing for practical assistance. We need the help of lawyers. We also need the help of doctors and experts in electromagnetic weapons and so on, to try to put a stop to this. It's getting ever more severe, and I just remind people that, for example, Britta Lea Jacquard was brutally just tortured to death, and Walter Mardiger was murdered, as it seems, and many, many other people are literally just tortured to death and then murdered by the intelligence agencies here in Switzerland and Germany and the UK and other countries, and in the US for sure. And I just sometimes I'm just at a loss to even know how to go about stopping these psychopaths. And the truth is that they're utterly destroying these countries for a generation, because that's what the secret services did in Eastern Europe as well, and also in Russia and China. They just cripple countries for many generations because they are psychopaths at the top, and they think that individuals don't matter, whereby the truth is that individuals make all the difference. So they kill all the good people, and then just leave society with the dross that then cannot sort out the problems that need sorting out, and then the country ends up crippled for several generations. Anyway, I'll go to bed now, and I hope that other victims fare better than me. Right now, I'm being utterly taken to pieces, and they're focusing on my head, so that I had all this like clicking sounds on my skull and shots into my skull, and you can just see how my skin is inflamed. And Melanie discovered that there are surgical scars on my forehead, so they put in these chips, and then the chips grow a network or whatever, but it just, your tissue just cannot take this Nazi psychopathy and these assaults. And then, this is being done to you despite the fact that I went to London and requested an emergency injunction. And there you can see the rape culture of MI5 and MI6 and the NDB and the BND, because these men seem to have been reared on child rape, child mutilation, and child murder, and also the mutilation of women and the murder of women. So to them, it's an addiction. It's like other people are addicted to drugs. And then when they have victims of the intelligence agencies just pleading for their life, they are just trained to laugh at that. And then you have this effect of these degenerate, uncontrollable, total retards just taking down the best people in society and then jeering and laughing about it. I mean, do you remember, maybe you have seen it, so there was the crash of the airplane carrying all the Polish politicians and so on. And there was one video recording of somebody who was in the area and went out to actually film the crash site, and discovered that there were all these special branch type of people all over the place, running across, running everywhere around, over the plains, shooting people dead, and people pleading, saying, please, please help us. And then you can just hear these shots being fired in these like whacked out, weaponized fucktards, just cackling like a bunch of lunatics, which is what they are. So that is the intelligence agencies. It's the contents of HMP Belmarsh prison, just emptied out onto the world. And these people are just totally demented and just beyond control. And worse than that, always think of that. Always think of the people on the crash site who have survived the plane crash, begging for their life, and then being shot in the head by a laughing lunatic. That's the intelligence agencies. Okay. Those guys didn't end up close to the plane by chance. And as I understand, the person who had uploaded this video, who had made it, was also murdered. So it's just an endless iteration of these weaponized fucktards and serial killers just murdering people. So, for the female victims of the intelligence agencies, you are dealing with these guys who are just so beyond repair mentally. They are so mentally ill that you can't get through to them. They are just laughing in your face and just going like, and then shooting people in the vagina, literally just amusing themselves by shooting women in the vagina with microwave weapons, and then laughing about it, and then watching them on their, radar surveillance of how these women are just desperately trying to protect themselves and their children. And you have these degenerate old farts just knocking one off all the shit. So that's the intelligence agencies, people. It's nothing to do with fighting terrorism. They use young people to stage terrorism, and they use these old degenerate wankers to just, propel a system to take down entire countries. So that's the background story. It's now 20 minutes past 2 a.m. and I shall go to bed. Tomorrow is another day, and we have to work hard to try to stop these nutters, because the truth is they are mutilating and murdering people who really should be working on something else. And instead they seem to be running these brain mapping, brain fuck exercises. And then I have people like Dr. Robert Duncan announcing on Facebook that, yes, I am part of this program, and then sending me abusive emails that you can find on my website. I mean, just go and read this. Another nutter scientist just being let loose on the population and just, just laughing and jeering at victims. How fucked up you can be. I just cannot comprehend reading those emails. But anyway, so that's the reality, and those are the people who are given access to the chips that are, illegally implanted in your body, and then you can just gauge their mental age, for yourself. So anyway, these are the news. Today is, as I said, the 24th of June, 2017. It's now 20 minutes past 2 a.m. I'm Dr. Catherine Horton, and I'm signing off from the concentration camp in Zurich. Thank you for listening, and bye for now.